What's up YouTube? John, JDS Outdoors. Welcome back. Today we're working on Project Slacker Tracker. Thanks to Nate at Nate Customs Boats for naming my boat. The Slacker Tracker works pretty good. But today we're going to be installing an iPilot trolling motor and replacing this wonderful Minn Kota Edge 45-pound trolling motor that came on this thing. It's a good little trolling motor, but it is not my style at all. I absolutely hate it. I like iPilot. You know what they say, once you go iPilot, you never go back. And I had it before, loved it, and now this thing sucks. So we're going to replace it. But it took me a couple weeks just to find a trolling motor in stock anywhere that had iPilot on it. These are some unprecedented times. I wanted a Terrova. I ended up with a power drive, but this is mainly what I wanted. So here we are. This is what we got. And it is way too big for this boat, but like I said, it's what I got. So it's a 70-pound thrust, 24 volt with a 60-inch shaft, which that shaft is a little too long for this boat, but we'll just have some sticking out of the water, probably more sticking out of the water than what's in it. It is what it is. This isn't what I exactly wanted. I don't need, but I want a Riptide. We're trying to find a Riptide and a Terrova in stock, especially up north. Sucks. So here we are. Let's go ahead and start by taking off this wonderful piece of equipment and get that listed on Marketplace for a giveaway price, so I don't have to look at it anymore. And then move on to getting this thing wired up. So here we go. So we're going to start off by removing the old trolling motor plug to give us access to the wires. Once we get the plug removed, we can go ahead and remove the rest of the screws that hold the access panel on, so we can go ahead and get that access panel out of the way. Then with that access panel moved, it gives us access to the bolts on the back side of the trolling motor. So we can go ahead, get rid of those, and take this ugly thing off of this boat and dispose of it. And now it's time to grab the new trolling motor, set it in place, and take our time here getting it aligned properly. You can't take too much time making sure that this thing is in the right location before you start drilling holes in your brand new boat. And drilling holes in a brand new boat is not for the faint of heart, but well, after you do it a couple times, it's really not that big a deal. So I actually got this to line up with one of the previous holes, so I used the bolt to hold it in place. Gave me some sturdy spots to hold it while I drilled a ton of holes in this thing. And after we get the last hole drilled, it's time to secure them with a washer and a nylock nut on the other side. Now be careful using an impact on stainless steel bolts because it creates heat and it can tend to seize them up. After you get it all bolted on, return the side panels back onto your trolling motor, making sure to not over tighten these as well, and don't forget the other side. Then go ahead with the use of a ratchet and a socket, put your prop on. Make sure you get that pin lined up on the back side so you don't bend it out of place. Now it's time to move on to the wiring using my favorite plug. First, we're going to cut off the old plug, leaving a nice little tail on the previous piece so you can go ahead and reuse it for something else. Strip the wires back. This is 8-gauge wire, by the way, runs front to back. And on the back side of the plug, it's labeled 1, 2, 3. In our case, we're going to go with number 1 for positive. And insert your positive wire. Tighten it down. Give it a tug test just to make sure it's nice and snug. And insert your negative into number 2. At least that's what I did in my case. you can go ahead and wire up whichever way you would like. Just remember which number correlates with the positive and negative wire, so you can go ahead and transfer that over to your plug for the trolling motor side. Now I cut off the factory ends because we're not going to hook it directly to a battery. After cutting it off, go ahead and strip the ends, giving them a nice little twist so they stay nice and tight and easier to insert into your trolling motor plug itself. And insert the positive into spot number 1, tightening it down. And the negative into spot number 2, tightening that down as well. And after you get that tightened down, you can go ahead and push the rubber sleeve over the plug, and you're good to go. Next step, let's make sure that we actually have 24 volts coming up to our plug. So with the use of a multimeter, we insert the negative and the positive, and here's the results. Perfect. Well, let's hop on the Honda and drag her over to the river and see if she works. But as you guys saw in the beginning of the video, you know that it already works. But now you got to see how I installed it. Well, now she's back in her parking space to stay warm because it's chilly out there today. But overall, that installation wasn't too bad. Turned out pretty well, works great, plenty of power. But like I said, she is a little long for this boat. But you take what you can get when you can't get much. But this will work for now. So as always, thank you for watching JDS Outdoors, and I will see you on the next one.